This is Mastering Your Wealth with David Gagnon, the podcast.
You know, personal finance expert Susie Orman, she hosts a podcast called Women and Money. And a woman wrote in recently and said that she's torn about taking her pension. She said that she could take the $450,000 lump sum, or she could take a $3,000 monthly check. Susie answered that if you take the $3,000 monthly check for life, you run the risk of the pension program being changed or even ended, and that there's no legacy also when you pass away. So her advice was take that $450,000 lump sum, you split it, you throw some to an annuity, you invest the rest, and with Social Security, you should be good to go. What are your thoughts on that, David?
You know, it's always risky when you annuitize a chunk of money because you have to live quite a long time to recover in the form of those monthly payments, what your initial investment was, and then be ahead of the game. The things that we look at to maximize pension decisions are using a similar tool where the insurance companies will guarantee you can take ownership of the lump sum, have that invested with no market risk, have your interest tied to gains of the market indexes, but also have a benefit guarantee on that account where you have a lifetime payout. And what we're finding today, because the products today, especially in the last two and a half years, the benefit payouts have been even higher and better. And we're finding that when we do the pension evaluation of either choosing an option through their current pension plan or rolling the money to an IRA with a lump sum, we're creating higher lifetime income and providing some other benefits that can be a backup strategy for out-of-pocket health care, because some of these pension payouts or these annuity payouts that are for lifetime will double for sometimes up to 5 years to help pay for out-of-pocket health care. Now think about that. If you're paying a 1% fee to have all these guarantees and you're creating more dollars out of your existing dollars for out-of-pocket health care, that protects more of your other money, right? So, so there's ways to have in your cake and eat it too, meaning you own your entire lump sum, have that invested safely with no risk, with the ability to get competitive returns and grow that cash, and have an income guarantee that when you're ready to turn it on, will pay for life. And whatever's left over in that account can be passed on to your beneficiaries. You haven't forfeited that money to a pension plan. So I think it's good for folks if they're faced with this decision with their pension plan, whether it's a lump sum or lifetime income, have a call with us and let's look at your numbers and do an analysis and show you if in fact we can create more income and actually put all the money of that lump sum in your hands, in your control, your ownership, so you don't disinherit anybody unnecessarily. And that's what happens.
203-872-0009. That's 203-872-0009. You know, David, you've been married how many years? Or gosh, I should say how many decades?
For 4 decades. And I always ask my wife, I said, how long? Why'd you keep me so long? So,
yeah, don't you want to trade me in? I mean, what's going on here?
Who else is she going to use to do all the home projects on the weekends, right?
That's what's keeping you there, the home projects.
Yeah, I was up on a ladder 2.5 stories last weekend and working on some custom trim and molding, and she thinks, well, maybe it'll get done next year. Because I'm only doing it on the weekends.
Take your time. Your time.
Well, if I didn't build my daughter her chicken coop for the first 6 months of the year, every weekend I would have had everything done on the outside that I'm working on now. So,
I love it. Yeah, you're the honey-do list at home, and you're trying to do everything you can to help build people's retirement income plans there in the office, again, with nearly 40 years of experience. And I asked how long you've been married because, as you talked about, you've been married, 4 decades. So I wonder if you ever find anything new about your wife. Do you find out, I don't know, clothes she likes or a color she likes or a TV show she doesn't like, and you go, we've been together for 30, 40 years. What are you talking about? Think about that. Here's comedian Jeff Allen. I want to know who can relate to this.
She looks on the menu and she says, they have lobster. I go, yeah, they do. She goes, I love lobster. It's my favorite. And I look at her and I go, since when? You've been married 37 years. This is the first I've heard of your lobster thing. And she goes, oh, no. Well, they're so expensive. And I said, I can spring for 1 lobster a year, babe. Look, we'll Dave Ramsey it. I'll put $4 in an envelope. Every week, $4 in an envelope every week. 52 weeks, we'll have $208. Walk into the restaurant, I'll plunk all 52 envelopes on the counter. Get this woman a lobster.
Get her a lobster. I love that. He's like, we've been together 37 years.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife will not eat any seafood except a few years back. We're at a restaurant and she likes pasta. She's her favorite dish is Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you know what? I'm going to get a spaghetti with clam sauce. I said, you know, clams come from the ocean, right? she goes, I don't care. I'm in a mood for it. I said, you never had it.
Wow.
So actually, she did like it. So she'll
She
eat that
surprised you. She shocked you, just like this with the lobster. You never know.
I tell her, try something that you haven't tried before, and you might find out you like it. But, man, she's really strict about what she'll eat.
Mm-hmm.
And because I eat everything. I mean, I like food, and I like to eat different things. I just can't stay with one type of menu.
Well, listen, to each their own. And, talking about Jeff Allen here, this comedian, and is finding out his wife likes lobster. And, of course, he turns it into a bit about, we'll just Dave Ramsey it, I'll just, put the money in the envelopes and collect them all. Well, he's basically creating a rudimentary income stream there. So how can those planning their retirement do something similar to take care of maybe basic expenses? And then, of course, you want to enjoy those lobster moments yourself.
Well, we designed customized, personalized strategic income plans. And that's important because you really want to look into the future with what income you're going to need to generate from your resources today. And we kind of look at income that you're going to need for your bare necessities. So that'll be invested in high yield income tools that will be there every day and some guaranteed payouts as well. So we can always rely on that money being there. But then we can have another part of the income plan designed to generate income for discretionary spending, for things that you may want to spend a little bit more on, maybe a added vacation each year or doing things with the family and the grandkids. So we customize our income distribution plans, and that's where we get probably most of our calls coming into our office are people getting close to retirement or in retirement because they're struggling with ways to create income from their investment plan, and they don't have a plan to begin with on the retirement forecasting, which has to be part of the whole analysis, because people kind of go into retirement with their same investment mix that they had when they were working, and they're just drawing income from something that might be not invested appropriately for their income stage because they still have it in a growth stage when they were working in their accumulation years. So and once we have these plans in place, it gives them added peace of mind knowing that they can actually spend at the level of their lifestyle desires, because everybody's price tag is different in how they're going to live their retirement.
203-872-0009, 203-872-0009. That website, masteringyourwealthradio.com. Folks out there worry about different things, Dave. Sometimes you have anxiety over world events or even the economy. Others may lose sleep over their retirement plans. I'm sure you've seen this a lot in your 4 decades here in the financial services world. So how can you as a financial advisor help remove the burden of worry?
Well, I'll tell you, worry will fade when clarity appears. And what I mean by that is if you know your numbers and you have a plan coordinated all your numbers, you see what's possible. And what we do is we run stress tests with somebody's retirement, looking into the future with what they're doing today. And we want to see how things are impacted with different inflation rates and different tax rates and different longevity rates. And when we do that, now we can kind of get a sense and some clarity as to what their spending is in a realistic format. Or approach. And a lot of times people are also worried about out-of-pocket health care because that derails more retirements than anything, and it's very expensive. So if there's a spouse that needs some help, either some home health aides or long-term care, I have clients right now in this situation where they're spending $20,000 to $25,000 a month.
Wow.
So think about that. I mean, that takes a big chunk out of a retirement nest egg pretty quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, we've talked before how a married couple, they can expect to spend, I think it was over $300,000 of out-of-pocket cost. And just to kind of keep it on the radar, folks, along with everything else, the cost of healthcare is projected to raise significantly in 2026. I mean, that's a big conversation right now.
Yeah. But what's really good about when we put our plans together for folks, it gives them the clarity, which is so important in their numbers to show them what's possible. And we can factor in other things that's on their wish list to make sure we can come up with a plan that's affordable so they don't run out of money. And when we do this, people now have the validation they can spend and live their lifestyle the way they had envisioned without the worry. And you only have worry if you have uncertainty, and you have uncertainty without a plan. And I see this all the time. And that's why it's so important for people to work off of a plan and make their financial decisions off of a plan. Because as we always say, would you build a home, a brand new home, without a set of drawings?
Probably not. It wouldn't go too well.
It wouldn't go too well. It wouldn't look the way you would envision. You'd probably have a lot of costly mistakes. And the same thing holds true with making financial decisions. When you have a plan and all your moving parts to the financial plan are efficiently identified that you should do and your decisions you should make, and how you claim and optimize your Social Security, how do you maximize your pension, how do you set up your tax strategy to reduce your taxes in the future, your estate plan, your investment plan has to be aligned with what your plan shows you need for income and growth with safeguards on it and guardrails so you don't lose it. Because when you make costly mistakes in retirement, you only have one chance to get it right, first of all. But if you're invested incorrectly in retirement and now you see a loss in your nest egg that might determine or change what income you could derive going into the future, you're going to have to make some adjustments. And I've seen some really big adjustments people have had to make because they weren't invested correctly and they lost too much of their retirement nest egg. In some situations, I've seen people had to sell their homes.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Man, from one mistake.
Yeah. And
it's crazy.
So, it's what you don't know that can hurt you more than what you do know. And we want to bring this to light if you're vulnerable in all kinds of ways that might impact your money in a negative way. And like I say, we've been doing this for 4 decades. We see things that people may not see because we've seen them before with other folks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and here's the deal. We could give you analogies all day long. Building a house without a plan. Obviously, that's not going to go very well. If you're trying to do this on your own and you're trying to go the DIY route, well, there's a reason why if your car makes a weird noise, you go to the mechanic. There's a reason why if something's off with you health-wise, you go to the best doctor you can find because they are the person that's focused on that specific subject matter. They know the way around it. They know how to fix it. They know how to correct it. And that's where you come in, David, especially within the society of a DIY. I mean, everyone thinks they can get on ChatGPT or YouTube and find a video to do anything. And that's not the case when it comes to planning for retirement. I know you've told me before you've sat down with some of these DIYers and you found several huge mistakes that cost them big time. And you even found ways of, hey, you actually could have retired 2 years ago if you would have come and talk to me. Yeah.
They didn't have the clarity. That's why they didn't do that. And if you have to pay a fee to an advisor that does comprehensive planning like this, they're going to create so much more value than whatever the fee is that you're paying for. And especially when we do tax planning, we show folks how not everybody's in the same situation, but everybody's situation is different. I was working with a couple a few months ago, and they had a highly appreciated piece of real estate that they dreaded to sell, and they didn't want to sell it because the capital gains tax was extremely high. And we showed them how to sell it and retain 100% of the proceeds by using some specific tax code opportunities that the wealthy people use. So they had 100% of the money that they could reinvest and create a nice cash flow and income from that. And same thing with business owners. We show people how to sell their business and retain 100% of their profits without taking a chunk of tax off the top, so they have more income and cash flow from that. And so if people reach out to us and they disclose all their makeup of their balance sheet and their financial components, then we can start identifying where there's some opportunities that they don't see that we can help them with. So give us a call today for a portfolio analysis, and then we can have a more in-depth discussion about what your concerns are and whether you in fact, need to work off of a plan and get that clarity you need so you have validation to spend what you want in retirement.
For more details or to sit down with David for your complimentary financial GPS, visit masteringyourwealthradio.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, BWA, a registered investment advisor and an affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and First Financial Planners are independent of each other. Insurance products and services are not offered through BWA, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
Information provided is not intended as tax or legal advice and should not be relied on as such. You are encouraged to seek tax or legal advice from an independent professional.
Any comments regarding safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims-paying ability of the issuing company and are not offered by Brookstone.
David Gagnon and First Financial Planners are not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency.
Registered investment advisors and investment advisor representatives act as fiduciaries for all of our investment management clients. We have an obligation to act in the best interest of our clients and to make full disclosure of any conflicts of interest. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV 2A Item 4, for additional information.